Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, we're going to talk episode 3. That's right, I have a better attitude. I slept some. I've got this. We've got this. We're flocking together. But I'm going to talk episode 3 of With Love Meghan. Is it any better? No, it's not. But this wasn't quite as painful of an episode for me. And I'll explain why. Meghan is still the worst. Don't worry. I'll get into that. I'll really get into that. But the episode overall wasn't as painful for me to watch. So we'll go into all that. But again, I'm Jen. Thanks so much for being here. I'm talking with Love Meghan, and I'm on episode 3. I've also covered episode 1 and 2, so go back and watch those if you haven't already. But yeah, so this episode was the Roy Choi episode. And while Meghan is the absolute worst, I will say I'm not just looking for reasons to be negative. I'll tell you if there's something good. And the thing that I liked about this episode was her guest. I found him to be a little bit more fun, more charming than the other guests she's had. So just a reminder, episode 1 was her makeup artist. I find that so weird. Kevin. So he's under her employ. So it behooves him to speak nicely of her, right? I just find that a weird dynamic. I mean, not that whatever, you can be friends with whomever, but I'm saying to have him on is it's supposed to be like not biased. Okay, sure. So he was the first guest. The second guest was Mindy Kaling. That was the worst episode so far. The worst. That's saying something because they're all bad. That one's real bad. Episode 3 is Roy Choi. If you don't know who Roy Choi is, he's a chef. Yeah, I don't know much about the guy, but I found him likable in the episode. I found his personality is good. I want to eat his food. This is the first time I've seen stuff made on here. I was like, oh, I want to eat that. He made some fried chicken that looked delicious. The thing that drove me absolutely crazy was Meghan. She just will not get out of the way of the show. You can tell that the producers are trying with this. They put in a lot of music. They put in a lot of visual effects. They did everything they could. Meghan ruins it. All right. Anyway, I'm Jen. Thanks so much for being here. Honk, honk. Let's get into this episode. I appreciate you all so much. I want you to know, everybody who's watched my other episodes, who've left me comments, I've read them. You're so kind, thanking me for taking one for the team to watch this. This is totally fine. I got this. We've got this. Your comments are what's keeping me going. So if you will, just give me a honk in the comments if you can't think of what to say, because they really do help out and they help the channel grow and all that. Make sure you subscribe. I'm pushing to 200,000. I've gained over 1,000 subs in just like it's a pretty short time. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Okay, let's get into this episode. Episode 3. So the thing that I want to point out, just getting into this episode, is this. Each episode, I'm looking down because I have like pages of notes that I've made. So if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. Okay. Each episode, she's used her people that are with her to clap back at things. This is my opinion, but it seems to me she's using it to clap back at people. Okay. So episode 1, it was, Meg, you're a hard worker. She had her friend Kevin say, if it wasn't exactly that, I think it was exactly that. It was something along those lines of, Meg, you're such a hard worker. Okay. All right. Our eyeballs and brains tell us the opposite. 1 hour a week. Hello. Lazy blanking grifters, right? Isn't that what they were called? So yeah, so she's clapping back and having her friend in the first episode talk about what a hard worker she is. In the second episode, she's clapping back at the fashion because she has her pal Mindy Kaling there saying, oh, Meghan, I always love your fashion. Choke on that, right? I mean, like, seriously, I get it. Some people like Meghan, some people don't. You got to admit, her fashion is atrocious. Holy beige. And I have some of you in the comments, I've read them, saying, it's not right to just hate beige. It's my opinion. I hate beige. I'm just not a fan, but fine, to each his own. Enjoy your beige. Not a fan. I'm sure some people aren't a fan of my blue. It's fine. Like, to each his own. It's not that. It's just, she's made that her whole personality. Beige and dish soap. That's all she's got. And now it's dried flowers. I'll get into that because that's all she's got on the show, over and over. Dried flowers, dried flowers. Anyway, the third episode is Meghan, I'm a fan of yours. And again, I like this guy. So you're not going to hear me be too negative on the guy himself, but I didn't love that. I'll get into it. He says something pretty quick that I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Okay. But I'm just giving you my overall thoughts on the episode right now. He seems like a nice guy, but she will not let him talk. and it's awkward. There's some moments of cringe because she won't let him talk, and when she finally does, she she insults him, and I'm using that word lightly. I'm not taking it all so seriously that, oh, she's insulting him because she doesn't like his music. I understand joking with the best of them. I understand ribbing somebody because I love to do it. Like, there's people that I go back and forth with, and I just get such a kick out of it. It's fine. It's part of the fun. She openly says that they're not friends, that she's meeting him now and that she's hoping to become friends. So I don't know. I just felt like she was just being a B word. I don't think it was just fun. I don't think she has a sense of humor to rib somebody, is my point. Um, Oh, this is one thing that I really noticed. This is the 3rd episode, so 3 episodes in. I've really noticed this, and I really don't think I've missed any. You can let me know if I'm wrong. But she will talk about other people's partners in this thing. Now, Mindy is always private on that, so it's fine that Meghan wouldn't say the partner. I don't know that she does with this 3rd guest, but the 1st guest she absolutely did. She talked about the guy's partner quite a bit, called by his name. I wanna say the name was Corey. I might have that wrong. Whatever the partner's name is, she referred back to him. She's like, "Oh, whatever, Bob will like this, Corey will like this," whatever the guy's name is, quite a bit. So my point is she recognizes people's partners by name. She will not do that with her own husband. Every time, every episode, my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband. And I've said before, I understand that that is a term that you would use to refer to your husband or your wife or your kid. You might say, my kid this, my kid that. But eventually, aren't you going to refer to them by their name? She never ever does. It's bizarre. It's really weird. This is something I'm gonna dive deeper into in general. This is something I've been talking to some friends about offline about. I wanna do an episode where I really go into this because I found some weird stuff that I don't wanna say yet. But this ties back into that. She will not call him by his name. It's, well, in the past, it's been like H has, but now it's only my husband. And to me, I think that's twofold. I think she wants to take away his identity, make him as small as possible, right? My husband. My husband is it tells me nothing. I know who her husband is. But if I heard anybody say my husband, I get literally no information from that. You know, if you said my husband, blah, 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 I get nothing from that. If you said Bob, blah, 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 then at least I know his name is Bob. I know something about him, right? you know, I find that so weird. So it's just my husband over and over, but she'll refer to other people's partners by name, just not her own. So the other thing that strikes me about that, and I said this before, but it stands is that is just the most narcissistic way to refer to somebody. And again, I don't knock that. I'm not looking to nitpick. I'm really not. Get it. People say my husband, my wife. Of course they do. But if that's all you know them as, if that's all you call them, it becomes my husband. It's like I think a little kid. I'm not saying little kids are narcissistic, but a little kid would say, my mommy, blah, blah, blah. If they called up, like I remember being a kid calling my mom's office saying, hey, is my mom there? They don't know who my mom is. My mom means nothing to them. But to me, as a little kid where the world revolves around, you don't understand it. So you think my mom, my mommy, my mom. That's how I think of this. My husband. The world revolves around Meghan. So it's my husband. He has no identity. I find that very odd. Those are the main notes I have going into this episode. I'm going to break it down, but I just wanted to really hit those. Those are the big things that I really noticed. They make in this episode pickles, kimchi. I'm going to make a drinking game out of crudité. How many times she says crudité? She goes on and on about how she loves to talk about crudité over and over. Crudité, crudité, crudité. It's like, learn a different word. Isn't this like supposed to be loosely based on a cooking show? I know they keep changing and say it's not a cooking show, but there's cooking in the show. She's in the kitchen the whole time. This is a cooking show. There's recipes. There's cooking. The only food I really want to eat is that Chef Today, Roy Choi's food. That fried chicken looked delicious, but I'm saying like it's not her cooking, it's his. But or is it? Oh yeah, crudité. She made donuts. I'll get into those donuts because I have an issue with those donuts. And the fried chicken. We're family now. We got that again, and I find that so odd because, again, she won't acknowledge her actual family on either side or his either, but she'll pick these strangers basically and call them family. She referred to the makeup artist as Uncle Kevin in regards to talking about her children. I've been over this. I get it. I have friends that I call, my kid calls Aunt so and so, but I'm not estranged from my family. She's estranged from both sides of the family. So I find that extra weird that she has the kids call them aunt and uncle when they have actual aunts and uncles that they don't speak to. Oh my God. And then the big other thing I forgot to mention is the crew. Again, with the crew, she loves to use the crew to prove points. And I think the point she's trying to prove is look how nice I am. Look how I take care of people. I would never mistreat somebody that's there, around me or to help me or anything. Can we get you some coffee? She's like making coffee for them. She's like serving them fried chicken and stuff. Plates, napkins, help yourselves. Like perfect hostess. Okay. I get this is a show about hosting, but it feels so much more than that. This is a clapback. This is what she does to change the algorithm or whatever, figurative algorithm in this case, about all these bull stuff continue to come out. She's fighting it by saying, look at me. I'm really nice to the crew. Okay, I just think if you're a nice person, again, you don't have to say you're a nice person repeatedly, and you don't have to go out of your way to show you're a nice person. Everything with her seems to be about optics. That seems to be an overall theme with this. I am speaking to a chef. I'm so excited to get his take on this stuff. He's just, you got to bear with because he's got a crazy schedule, but as soon as we can get it nailed down, he'll be bringing all kinds of good info. I've already been talking to him. I don't even want to tell you exactly about what, because he's got some good takes on some things. But one of the things that did come up is how it's aesthetics, everything from the literal term of let's make sure this sandwich looks good. I don't care how it tastes, to the aesthetics of saying things like, I'm a very present mom, because she thinks by saying it, we'll see it that way, but it's not. It's because those kids are not in the show. They don't seem to travel with the kids. They don't seem to spend a lot of time at home. So, yeah, okay. It's that saying it, but not practicing what you preach, I think is what I'm going for. She does a seal clap in this one. Okay. Let's see. So this one, okay. So it starts off with him loving donuts. So she bakes donuts. And while I do not cook to save my life, I do enjoy baking, and donuts is one of the things I enjoy baking. So I've actually made these exact donuts. And I can tell you, as somebody who is afraid of my kitchen, not really, they're not hard. The Gosling likes them. There's not much to them, and it's fine. And I get it. I'm not saying she needs to make hard recipes. It's not even that. Okay, so she bakes some donuts. Cool. Great. Good for her. Here's where I have a problem. She glazes them great. And then again, every single episode over and over. Okay, let's play a game. I just baked us some donuts. What toppings would you like on those donuts? I'm guessing the majority of you would say like a glaze or like a chocolate drizzle or maybe like a strawberry or jelly or something, a jam, depending on what you said, jam. How many of you said dried flowers? No? Nobody? Me neither. Okay, that is the craziest thing. She's like, "I know. I'll elevate it." She said elevate quite a few times this time. Oh, I brought pictures. Let's take a look. This'll help. Okay, so here's the donuts, right? They look pretty good. I'd eat that. Why not? It's got the glaze on it. She was like dipping it. Great. Okay, no problem. What should we put as a topping for this thing? I know. Edible flowers. What? You might think, oh no, those are sprinkles. No, they're dried flowers. She's used these every episode multiple times. So I'm telling you now, she's merching these things. She's merching these things. And now I can tell you, I'd written that down. And then I found out she's for sure merching these things. Several of you sent me People magazine articles saying that this is one of the things that's going to be in her shop. I don't have a price on it. I'm sure it's going to be ridiculously expensive. What's weird to me, and now I wish I'd paid better attention, but I clocked it. I think it was in episode 1 where she kept using dried flowers. And she even said, somebody asked her, like, does it add to the flavor? And she's kind of, no, I think it's just for look. So that's part of the reason I was going for that. She goes over looks over substance. Yeah, so these dried flowers, huge, make an appearance. There's something else I wanted to talk about as we go through this too. Guys, Holy pants up to neck once again. I say it every time. Everybody's got a body, everybody's got weirdness. I'm not even knocking her body. I just can't make sense of the pants pulled up to under your boobs. I can't make sense of it. I can't. I've tried, I can't. And even if your pants fit like this, why are you tucking a shirt into it? Why not just wear something, well, even like this, where it hangs down a little bit over the waistband to hide. You don't tuck into your pants to maybe hide that, oh yeah, you're interesting shaped, whatever's going on here. That you can't find jeans without the longest crotch in the history of the world. I don't know. Can't make sense of it. There you go. Is that not the longest you've ever seen in your life? Look at from here, like the, chesticle region to the top of the pants. There's not much real estate there. But then look from the top of the pants to the where the legs hit. There's a lot of real estate there. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get it. Then here's from the rear. I'll let you make up your own mind on this. I can't make sense out of it. It really doesn't make sense. I just think these are the worst pants. And actually, they're not the worst pants. I've seen worse, but these are some of the worst pants. Those brown pants coming up, those are the worst pants. But these are pretty bad. I can't make sense out of it. I really can't. I know I sound like a broken record, but I just keep staring going, what? I've texted my girlfriends like, what? What is that? What? I don't understand these pants. I don't understand this either. She sure loves her own handwriting. She really does. And again, as somebody who studied calligraphy and can do it a little bit, that's not calligraphy. It's not. Again, I'm not looking to be nitpicky here. I understand that people can personalize calligraphy. It can become its own thing. That's not calligraphy. That's loopy swoopy bullshit cursive. And then it's crazy to me because let's play a game, shall we? All right, here we go. You won't be able to see me write this. Here we go. All right. So if I'm sitting here and I'm writing, so I actually can write like this. Well, I'm doing a terrible job because I'm balancing, but oh God, that's awful. Anyway, so I wrote the I'm. She has to come in. I just want you to think about this. This is a psychopath because you have to come in and add that loopy swoopy bullshit. Nowhere in dragging your pin like this would you have, am I showing it to you? If you're dragging your pen like this, writing this I, do you see it's not a natural flow? There's no natural place. You'd have to go like this and then trace back up to make the I. I know you can't see it. It just doesn't make any sense. So what she's doing is she's doing the I here. And then, sorry, it's off camera. Okay, she's doing the I like that. And then she's adding, it's ponytail. That's not calligraphy. That's adding loopy swoopy bullshit. It's so weird. So weird. I just get hung up on this stuff. And if I ever write feel good sayings like this on any board, you have my full permission to, I don't know, clunk me over the head with something. Something light, hopefully. A feather? That's fine. We'll do candles and feathers. Not a candle. Feather. Hit me over the head with a feather. No, seriously, what is this? If I need a pep talk so bad I'm writing a note to myself like this, I say that actually. I have notes in my phone to myself. I do. I'll admit it because I read like the Miranda Hart book that kind of tells you like pep talks on how to get out of your own head and how to beat this anxiety, or not beat it, but to live with anxiety kind of stuff. So I do have notes to myself, but they're not written on my wall really big for me to go, look at me with my own writing. That loopy swoopy bullshit. It's just too much. It's the ponytail of words, of letters. I can't make sense of that. All right. Let's see here. What other pictures? Oh yeah, more high-waisted pants that I can't make sense out of, and shirts that are 4 times too big, tucked into your neck. All right. Oh God, I got some facial expressions going on here. Like she's looking at her friend like this. What kind of music do you like? Oh, I like this. Don't ask him then. If you don't want the answer, don't ask him. Oh God, I got this one. I'm so proud of this. I took this shot myself. I was just like, wait, what? This is just a look. I don't even think I can do that face. Imagine your friend's over making you anything. I swear, if somebody's in my kitchen cooking for me, I'm not going to be staring daggers at them. I'm be like, hallelujah. I'm getting a home cooked meal because I'm not cooking. One of you flockers can come over and cook. Great. I won't stare at you like this. I don't even know how to do that. Like it haunts my soul. I don't like it. Make it stop. Demon. Demon. Anyway, yeah. So there's that. Oh yeah, and then that one. Yikes. Scary. Nightmare fuel. All right, I'm gonna come back to these pictures because I'm still talking through the episode. But let's see. Oh, she seems grossed out by buttermilk and sugar. Kind of weird if you're cooking or baking because those are like I mean, maybe not buttermilk, but sugar is like the most common thing that you're gonna use in baking besides flour. Oh, she says, "My kids would love this for breakfast." What kid wouldn't love this? Talking about the donuts. So again, the mention of children rather than the actual children. I'm a mother. As a mother, it's just the optics rather than the practice of that she thinks she seems to care about. There's a dog in the corner. I'm thinking it's Guy. You guys are better at that than me. I can't care enough to stare which dog it is. Don't know. Don't really care. Love dogs. Don't care which dog it is. Hard for me to care about them. Not dogs, but about Megan's dogs. I just don't care. Okay, so this is where this gets weird. Okay, so Roy Choi comes in. And again, I like him, but it's a little kiss assy here for my liking. So he walks in and they start talking and he tells her he's a huge fan of hers. Okay. That's obnoxious. No, I get it. Even if you're not huge into the person, if you're on their show, I would do that too, you know? If there's a YouTuber that I'm ho-hum about, I'm gonna lay it on thick when I'm on there because I understand optics and etiquette, you know? And be like, "I'm a huge fan of yours. I really enjoy your work," you know, that kind of stuff, because I'm not gonna be an a-hole about it, so I'll give him a pass because I like the guy, so I wanna like him. But as soon as he said that, she lit up like a Christmas tree. That was all she needed to hear, and it was like, it's on. Um, but, she eats it up um, and really gets into that because he says, "I'm surprised you knew who I was." She's like, "Are you kidding?" But it's not that she's excited to talk to him, she's excited that he said he's a fan of hers, and it was caught on video. That's, like, her favorite thing ever. Let's see, he goes into brining chickens, and she says, and I quote, I wrote it down, it was so cringe-inducing, "I wouldn't normally wing it, but he put stock in the stock." So it's like cooking puns. Again, I don't think she has an actual sense of humor. So I just actually wonder were these are like puns that are written for her. I don't think she's thinking these on her own. I think that they were given to her. Like, here, let's try to write in a personality or something. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, and then again, she's moving things around the kitchen and says, "When you've had kids, you're used to balancing things on your hip." She's carrying, like, chicken or something. She was balancing it, but it wasn't really balanced. She was just holding it and trying to get the fridge door. Again, I'm not gonna show you being a mom, I'm just gonna talk about it so that way the implication is there. Okay. I just find that so bizarre. I take the opposite stance. You guys are aware of my kid because you can hear her sometimes on some of my videos. I don't bring her on camera. If you're new here, I never bring her on camera because she's a kid. I don't think she's old enough to I'll wait till she can decide for herself. But you can hear her. She says things in the background and stuff. There are hints that she is around. I have some of her books over here. Like, there are hints that I have a child. It's not a mystery. There are no hints with her. It's so weird. So instead, she has to talk about it over and over. I find that a strange approach to parenting, but whatever. Let's see here. I'm reading through my notes. Oh, they make pickles. They go into Korean American culture. Okay, so he's Korean American. He starts to talk about it, and I'm interested. I want to hear what he has to say. She cuts him off to tell him about her Korean friends and their experience. I find that so completely obnoxious, especially for somebody like Megan who claims to like, I don't know, you know, all the things. Wouldn't I want to hear about the Korean experience from somebody who's actually Korean and not you explaining what your friend says it's like to be Korean? I gave this analogy to a friend who's British, and I said, "That is like me asking you or no, not asking you, 'Hey, what's it like to grow up in the UK? What's that like? Tell me about it.' Instead, I say, 'Let me tell you about my friend who grew up in the UK or who visited the UK.'" Something like that. It's me not okay, it boils down to she doesn't seem to be listening, she doesn't seem to have a genuine interest. These aren't shocking things. She doesn't have a genuine interest in her guest. It's the same thing I get frustrated with other YouTubers about, and it's the same thing I try to be conscious of when I'm interviewing somebody. I'm not just going through my list of questions. I want to really pay attention to what they're saying and try to build upon those questions because I can learn something from them. Like, we can all learn from each other. I wanna learn something from you in the chat. That's why I try to ask you questions sometimes, follow-up questions to something you might say, because I'm genuinely curious. It's just called being a person. Meghan doesn't have that. I think she tries to pretend to have that. She doesn't have that. She's interested in herself. She's interested in the sound of her own voice. Um, so he's trying to tell her what it's like in a Korean household. She cuts him off to tell her what it's like for her friends. So she's explaining back to him what it's like in a Korean household. Again, he seems like a cool guy, seems like a nice guy. So he's just gracious about it. He's just like, yeah, it sounds right. Well, instead of telling this guy about what it's like to be Korean in a household, maybe ask him, hey, tell me your experience. He's right there. She doesn't want to do that. She wants to be able to talk to him about what she's experienced. It's very weird. They tell some weird story about tidying up. His point is that he's a very, I guess, neat chef and likes to tidy up along the way. Well, they get into a story where she's like, "Oh, absolutely. Like, I try to make it easier on the hotels, tidy up as I'm leaving." The blank you do. There is just no way. I have no proof, but come on. Come on. Everything we know of Meghan, really? 5,000 a night suite. You're telling me you're going through that thing and tidying up. There is no freaking way. I would bet fill in the blank. I bet Jamie Dornan, there's no way that that's happening. There was a story, in fact, that she threw a fit. I read about in Revenge, and I think it was in Cordy's too. Maybe it was Lady C's book. I don't know. She threw a fit because there was a bird that she saw at one of the hotels, allegedly, but one of the hotels that she was being put up, and I believe it was on one of the Reitman's shoots. She was being put up in a hotel, and she threw a fit because there's a bird in the lobby. It wasn't just free flying in the lobby. It was like somebody had a bird. I don't remember the circumstance. A bird made its way through, and then in no way affected her. That was a bad choice of words. No way affected her. She threw a fit, got put up at a different hotel. So I highly doubt Miss High Maintenance is taking the time to do thoughtful things like that. Again, it's more stories of being thoughtful that could easily be made up versus actual showing thoughtfulness, right? It's telling us rather than showing us. So I don't believe it personally. She talks about her mom and grandma. She likes to bring out mom a lot. She talks about Doria quite a bit. Not a single mention of dad or any of the family on dad's side. Nothing. I find that completely Meghan. I would say interesting, but it's not interesting because that's just what she does. But I find it interesting that she's clinging on so hard to mom. And in this case, it was about they were making food, and then she brings up a story about her mother and her grandmother, and then something to do with, like, I wrote down, she said, "Where's your home training?" Meaning, where are your manners type thing. Maybe it was in regards to the cleaning. I can't remember. I think it was in regards to the cooking. Whatever it was, bringing up mom and grandma. See, look at me. I have family. I'm not estranged from everybody. Okay, where's Doria? Surprised they didn't bring Doria in. Not that I need to see Doria. Let's see what else. They go into gardening and she tells a story about when she was 10 or 11. She loved planting and waiting to see what popped up. Bolshevik. There's just no way. There's no way. There's no way. I don't believe it. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sure you were planting things to wait to see what popped up. No, no, you weren't. No way. That didn't happen. I'll take things that didn't happen for 100, Alex. No way. There's no way. Um, no. Um, I'm just laughing because I made a Jeopardy reference just there. Alex Trebek and, they she brings up Jeopardy, I think, in this episode. That's why I just was like, "Oh god, I might be Megan." Anyway, um, what else? She's going into, the Gardington or 11. I figured, "Oh god, here comes a sub story." She didn't tell it. I'm assuming she told it and maybe they cut it out because she loves to tell that. I don't know. They go into making dips. They played the song "When I Dip, You Dip, We Dip." So again, they're using music in an interesting way, even if it's not your choice of music. I'll give them credit. At least the producers are trying to make something out of this. They are trying. Visually, it's not the worst I've seen to look at. Musically, it's not my taste, but it's music. It's something. It's honestly Megan that's giving us nothing. And if nothing else, like this is a glaring thing to show, oh boy, she really has no personality. I don't think. It doesn't appear to me like she does. Because they tried music, they tried puns, they tried weird squares on the screen and stuff, but it's just Megan not bringing it, it's just my opinion. She likes to point out that she when she talked about Doria, this was weird. Again, they were talking about he was not allowed to tell his story of being Korean. She'd rather tell him stories of Korea or being Korean or Korean culture. So she brings up her mom in the Korean spa culture. And I'm making this face because wasn't this a thing that we learned before? I don't want to talk about it. Wasn't that a thing? Allegedly, she told a story about going to Korean spa with her mom and I don't know, levels of undress, we'll say. I was like, no, no, why? And why would you tell that? No. Anyway, I don't wanna know the details. I don't wanna know the details. I don't wanna know the details. She talks about dance she's dancing in this episode. She's dancing around, which, I mean, I do too. It's fine, but she uses it to draw back to her daughter. She says, "I'm dancing. My daughter does this too," when she likes the flavor. Again, telling us she's a mother rather than showing us. It's very bizarre. Um she says, "Cue the waiting music," because they're waiting on something to brine, and, so she's dancing around. She goes into her they make this fried chicken that did look really good, based on that's the chef. He's a chef, and he looked like a talented chef. I know nothing about this guy. Sound like I'm standing up for him. I just liked him better than the others, so maybe I wouldn't like him, but in the show, I liked him better than the others. Everybody else combined, he had more personality. If you told me, "Hey, you have to go have a beer with one of them," I'm picking him, Roy Choi, he seemed pretty cool. Um, I'd ask him what the hell's in his recipe for that fried chicken, it looked delicious. But, she goes, "My grandma had this amazing fried chicken recipe, and my husband loves fried chicken." Okay. Is he eating a lot of fried chicken, is he? Alright. Um, and then they call it fried chicken and crudité. I don't care about that part because it's all about the crudité. That's her favorite thing to talk about, crudité, crudité. Let me show you a few more pictures, and then I have some overall thoughts that I wanna hit with you guys. Here's more pictures. These pictures, so friendly. What did I do? I don't know what I clicked there. I think let's see here. Cancel. I hit something. There we go. So friendly. When you have this body language when you're, with your peeps. Oh God, she kept doing this. I'm a sampler in the kitchen, but I don't have a cooking show. She's doing this, licking fingers, biting things, and then putting it down. And I just thought, ugh, hair kind of sticking out a little bit. Ugh, the hair thing really grosses me out. I did talk about this in the last episode, and I did get a lot of comments, and I've read your comments. Thank you for that. And I was pointing out that she stacks all of her bracelets on her left hand, all of them, and her watch and stuff. And I wear a watch on my left hand. I get it. But I don't have 50 million bracelets, so I couldn't figure out why not balance a little bit. And people were saying, no, it's her non-dominant hand. It's fine. So I get it. I still think it's a little weird. If I had 16 bracelets like she does with my watch, I'd probably put some on this hand and I don't know. I find this weird. Let's see. Oh, and I don't know what it was about this picture, but I found this very funny. Hold on, let me see if I can get this going on here. Yeah, kinda. So silly. Okay. Um, oh, yeah, there you go. I'm just having fun. Um, these faces that she's making. Oh gosh, I got that one too, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, again, she's pretending to be this is about friendships and cooking. She's not doing cooking and she's not showing that she's a good friend with stink face. Yeah, that's it for the pictures. There's just a few more thoughts that I had. I'm stuck on this dried flower thing. Now again, the People magazine article, that's what I was going to talk about. Several people sent me the People magazine article. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And I'm not even pulling it because I hate People magazine. I don't want to give them the click, but I'll tell you basically what it is that, hey, she's got stuff coming. She's going to be selling some stuff. Okay, we kind of figured as much. And again, my friend John, the attorney from DC, that is coming on the show later in the week to talk about this train wreck as well. He had reminded me that she had some paperwork filed that kind of indicated that she would be selling more products along these lines. I'm being vague because I'll let him explain it on Friday. I don't want to get it wrong. So thank you, John, for that. But some of the products, it sounds like, are gonna be sold, or at least they're talking about it in People magazine. Sometimes she says things and doesn't follow through, but what's crazy to me, absolutely crazy, is that they're not ready to be sold yet. What I mean is, it's not that anybody's gonna rush out and buy them, but if she has a fighting chance of selling stuff, isn't it when your show airs? There's gonna be some yahoo somewhere, not me, that says, "Oh, hey, I wanna sprinkle dried flowers on everything. Let's get some of those." But so you'd think this would be you'd want the timing to work out to where your stuff would be ready to go, ready to ship, ready to be ordered, whatever it is. Nah, not for Megan. This is that American Riviera Orchard all over again. It's just nothing's just right. Nothing's ready. It's so weird. And of all times to not be ready when you're airing on like a huge platform. Wouldn't that okay, yeah, there's that. I find that bizarre. Like, what better chance do you have? But that's just Meghan and Harry's MO. This is what they do. They just piss away every opportunity. They get more opportunities than most combined, but they piss them all away because they cannot. Again, she's busy saying I'm a hard worker, but it sure doesn't seem like it because if it were me, I would have scrambled. I would have been up around the clock to have that merch ready to go in some form or fashion, even if it's drop ship, something to be ready because some people would want to order that. Some people. I'm not saying many, but I'm saying some. She would get more business. She just doesn't think like that. She's busy picking berries and edible flowers, ah, making her kids spaghetti for lunch boxes. That's the thing she said she did. Okay, I'm sure you do. I'm sure that's the thing that happened. There's just this show is as bland as her personality. It's as beige and boring as it comes. I'm sticking with it. Episode 2 is the worst episode by far. By far. It was the worst guest-wise. Mindy Kaling was, like, boring as like, just really boring, and I liked her on The Office, Kelly. I hate that she's like but she just says she was just very boring to watch, and it's like boring plus boring does not equal interesting, so the 2 of them were boring together. It was robotic, it was forced, it was fake. It's awkward, so yeah, episode 2 is the hardest. Episode 1 was not great, and then this wasn't great either, but this guest made it a little bit more tolerable, so there's that. Megan still ruins everything. She really does. She cannot get out of her own way. And it's not hard because they're doing the heavy lifting for you in this. I'm talking directly to Megan. They're doing the heavy lifting for you, playing the music with the background, the good cameras, all that stuff, the lighting, all of it seems pretty good. So it rests on her personality, and she can't carry that because she has no personality. So there's that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave this here. This was episode 3. I'm going to keep going. Let's keep talking. Let's keep watching. Don't watch that. I'll watch it for you. Stick with me here. We'll keep going. I do have lots of collabs coming up, so I'll sprinkle I'll elevate them with some mint. No, I'll sprinkle those out. We'll be doing lives again soon. It's just chaos right now, but if I can even get an hour to do one soon, I'll try to do that or 2 or 3. Um, what else? Again, collabs, check out for that. Yeah, just stick with me. Check back lots. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll try to make a playlist of these episodes so that way if you just want to binge them, that helps me. I appreciate that. Guys, my most sincere thank you for being here with me. Thank you for all your lovely comments, your kindness. I've read your comments and I'm going to continue to read them saying, "Ah, thanks for watching, Jen. Thanks for watching me, guys. I appreciate this flock so much. I can't believe how fast my channel is growing right now. It kind of blows me away. I gained over 1,000 subs like in just a couple of days. That's huge. And I appreciate that. If you're new here, thank you. Please do make sure you're subscribed. If you hear me honking a lot, it's because we're the drunk geese and we say, I'm Genebriated. I'm Jen. I put my name different I try to, a lot of times, sometimes, usually having to do with Jen. I honk because one of Megan's followers told me I sound like a drunk goose. I found it hilarious. I've been honking ever since. Now I'm obsessed and I love geese and they're everywhere. They're all over my office. I don't know if you can see. They're all over my office. I have geese stuff everywhere. Anyway, I'm ending this here. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. And as they do more crazy things, I'll talk about it. And as more episodes come out, I'll talk about it. I am planning to do a big overview that might be solo, it might be with a guest. I don't know. We'll talk about just some overall thoughts I have on what's bugging me about this. I am working with a chef very soon. I can't wait to get his take on things. Lots of good stuff coming out. So check back lots, even if this show isn't your jam. Oh, what did I just do there? Um, it's a lot of good content. So stick with me, watch, and let me know your thoughts. Thank you as always for being here. You know, you mean the world to me. I cannot wait to bring you more stuff like this. I hope you all have the best flocking day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.